Hello, hello, friends. We're going to understand the impromptu talks. That is when we have to speak, which is where we have not decided nor we are prepared, but we have to speak. That is the impromptu talks. We're trying to understand it further. Here it is saying several times during my course. Yes, it is saying as we read further, but far better than that, we are learning to assemble our knowledge and thoughts on any topic at a moment's notice. We are learning how to think on our feet. How to think on our feet. There's no planning, we are just going to start and speak on the topic. Several times during my course, the class members are asked to talk impromptu. Long distance, long experience has taught me that this kind of practice does two things. It does two things. It proves to the people in the class that they can think on their feet. That is the first point. The second point, this experience makes them much more secure and confident when they are giving their prepared talks. They realize that if the worst should happen and they experience a blackout while giving their prepared material, they still can talk intelligently on an impromptu basis until they get back on the track again. So, at one time or another, the class member hears tonight each of you. He hears tonight each of you. You will be given a different subject on which to talk. You won't know what it is until you stand up to speak. Good luck. What happens? An accountant finds he is called on to speak about advertising. An advertising salesman has to talk on kindergartens. A school teacher topic, a school teacher's topic may be banking, and the banker's topic may be school teaching. A clerk may be assigned to talk on production, and a production expert may be asked to discuss transportation. Do they hang their heads and give up? Never. Do they hang their heads and give up? Never. They don't pretend to be authorities. They don't pretend to be authorities. They work the subjects around to fit their knowledge of something familiar to them. Mark the words, it's very important. They don't pretend to be authorities. They work the subjects around to fit their knowledge to of something familiar to them. In their first efforts, they may not give a fine talk, but they do get up and they do talk. For some time, it is easy, for some, it is hard. For some, it is easy, for some, it is hard. But they don't give up. They don't give up. The important point is don't give up. They all find that they can do far better than they thought they would. They can do far better than they thought they would. This is thrilling to them. This is thrilling to them. They see that they can develop an ability which they didn't believe they had. They can develop an ability which they didn't believe they had. I believe that if they can do this, anybody can do it, and with willpower and confidence, and that the more often one tries to do it, the easier it will be. Another method, another method we use to train people to speak on their feet is the linkage technique of impromptu speaking. Which is the technique? It is linkage technique of the impromptu speech. Yes, and it is an stimulating feature of one of our class sessions. One class member is told to begin a story in most fantastic terms he can invent. For instance, he might say, "The other day I was piloting my helicopter when I noticed a swarm of flying saucers approaching. I started to descend, but a little man in the nearest saucer started to open fire. I," and goes on so and so. At this point, a bell sounds, indicating a bell sounds indicating the end of the speaker's time, and the next class member in line must continue the story. Isn't that wonderful? By the time everyone in the class has contributed his share, the action may end along the canals of Mars or in the halls of Congress. This method of developing the skills in speaking without the preparation, is admirable and as a training device. The more such practice a person gets, the better he will be qualified to meet the real situations that may arise when he has to speak for keeps in his business and social life. Okay, friends, so this was for today. We understood the various points and how to be just standing on the feet and speaking. And we also realize ourselves that we can do it. Yes, so never quit and be encouraged. And also remember the linkage technique and also develop an ability. Yes, an ability which we may not know that we have of speaking effectively. And one day we are going to be an effective public speaker. So be encouraged and do not quit in life. God bless you. Bye bye.